Okay, so I guess today is lesson day. There's something I want to explain to you guys, and what it is that when you're with someone who's manipulating you, there's signs everywhere. And this is probably for someone who was like, you ask your spirit team, well, what the hell is the lesson? Right? What are you trying to teach me? What are you trying to show me? Hi, they sent me. So what they're trying to show you is, this is what I'm seeing. There's a person. I don't know. I usually don't do this. I guess this is the spirit speaks. There's a person, right? Multiple people, actually. You want to be the good person. That's just who you are by nature. By nature, you're a good person. You're a good dude. You're a good girl. You're just a good person. You're a good, kind person, right? Not everyone is like you. And I had to learn that because I thought everybody was like me. I thought everybody wanted everyone to win. I couldn't understand, and I still don't, but I move accordingly. I don't understand how you could be good to a person and do your best, and they still tell you that you ain't shit. Like you're nothing, and treat you like you're nothing. Because sometimes people don't even have to say anything to you. It's the way they treat you. They treat you like an afterthought. They treat you like a bank. They treat you like you're just here to serve them, right? And not be served. There are people like that out in this world, and you have to learn the lesson on how to detect those people, right? What I learned was, I need to trust my gut, my intuition. I need to trust my muscle testing, trust my spirit team. I need to trust my inner compass when it comes to people. If my squad is like, we don't like that person, stay the fuck away from them. I I'm not saying I just cut all contact, especially if I need to interact with that person, but I limit my exposure to that person because I know something's wrong. I haven't pinpointed it yet, but something's off because my spirit team is giving me the watch your ass with that one. Does that make sense? Before I learned the lesson of that, I was like, oh no, I think I'm just making a big deal out of nothing. No, they didn't mean it that way. I made excuses for how people treated me, for why people treated me poorly. I'll say it again. I made excuses for why people were treating me poorly or treating me the way I didn't want to be treated. I was like, oh no, I probably overthought it. I don't do that anymore. I've learned that lesson because what ends up happening is this, and this is not for everyone. This is what I'm seeing. This is the movie that I'm seeing. I remember it was like a roller coaster ride, and it wasn't a good one. It was a messed up roller coaster ride, and it's not just one person. There were multiple people. It was a roller coaster ride, and they would be so nice to me, so nice to me, just enough to make me go, oh, they finally got it. They know. They know, because I wanted them to tell me that I was good. Does that make sense to you? I wanted them to tell me that I was good. So what would happen is, when they were nice to me, that meant I was good and I was worthy. When they weren't nice to me, that means I did something wrong and I was bad. That's what that dynamic does to you, especially if you were dealing with that dynamic since you were a kid. If you were dealing, because I was dealing with that dynamic when I was a kid. If my parents were nice to me, I'm a good kid. If my parents were angry at me, that means I did something wrong and I'm a bad kid. That's what that meant. And I had that mentality growing up. So when people treated me poorly, it wasn't, it was always, what did I do wrong? I did something wrong. They're treating me poorly because I am not worthy, because I did something wrong and something's wrong with me. I don't do that anymore. I don't do that anymore because what I have learned from the lessons that I've gone through is that there are some people in this world that get a kick out of, like, this is their fix, making you feel like shit. They get a rise out of making you angry. They get a rise out of making you feel sad. They get like a boost because they have nothing going on in their life that they can hold on to and say that I am good. So since I can't say I'm good, neither will you. You will not be able to say that you're good at what you do. Or if you are like killing it and you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, and the person that is around you isn't doing it, they are going to, and they are that type of person, they're going to tear you down. They're going to make you feel bad. They're going to try to make you feel bad. Only you can accept that gift. Do you understand? They're trying to give you the gift of, disappointment. Just don't fucking take it. That's one of the lessons that I learned. Just because someone gives you something doesn't mean you need to take it. Because I was taking everything everybody was giving me. People were giving me bullshit. People were giving me unsolicited negative advice. Unsolicited advice that's going to help me is one thing. Unsolicited advice that is just mean and nasty for no fucking reason. Why are you talking to me right now? That doesn't happen anymore because I've learned that lesson. And what you're going to find is they're going to be your friend. They're going to be your friend. They're going to be like, oh, and they're going to make you laugh and all this other stuff. And then all of a sudden, when you're comfortable, things are going to start to shift. Do you understand? Things are going to start to shift. And then they're going to start getting neglectful. They're going to start, do you really think that that's a good idea? They're going to start doing weird shit. And you're going to be like, and then you're going to start second guessing yourself. Remember, I'm not talking about a healthy person and a healthy relationship where they're like, hey, I think you would look really good in black, instead of you wearing white all the time. You understand what I'm saying? Hey, I think this would be a really good idea. What do you think about this? That's something completely different. That's someone wanting to help elevate you up. You understand? And when that person does that, if you take it in the right context that it's supposed to be in, you'll feel like they're doing this to you and they're pushing you up. Like, hey, write a book. Hey, do a podcast, stuff like that. You're really good at this. And they mean it because they've talked to you about it for a long period of time and they don't change up on you. Does that make sense? These people that I'm talking about, they change up constantly. 1 minute, you don't know. Your nervous system is so fucked up because you don't know which direction they're going to come in today. Does that make sense to you? So the lesson I learned in that is you need to watch the way people move. And if your gut is telling you, yeah, that person is not helping you, and you muscled, because I've taught you how to muscle test, and you muscle test it, and you've watched what goes on, and you still don't like it, that is not your person. Leave them alone. Do not allow them to have access to you, because they only want access to you to hold you in place or to drag you down. And that's not the type of person you need. You need a person who's going to help push you up and be like, okay, well, get on my knee, put your knee on my knee and like flip up. You understand what I'm saying? That's the type of person you want. You want a person who's like, I'm here to help. I'm here for you. What do you need? You're here for me. I'll tell you what I need. And it's a reciprocal relationship. These relationships aren't reciprocal. What happens is you let your guard down again and they sucker punch you in your chest. You understand? Not even in your gut. They punch you in your chest and all your air in your lungs go out. You understand? Because it's like, you're like, damn, I thought they were different. I thought they changed. They didn't. So you need to muscle test. Who should I be friends with this person? Should I be in a relationship with this person? And let me help you. Usually, if you already go, I don't think I should be friends with this person, and you muscle test, the answer is usually what you think. Yeah, you understand? Because your body feels it first before your spirit ever does. It goes, well, for me anyway, it goes to my body first. And my body is like, it's like a spidey sense. It goes, and it just doesn't feel right, and I have learned to trust my gut. I have learned to trust my intuition. I have learned that things that I would have cut off, my body's like, do not cut that off. That's not this. Don't do that. So I muscle tested and I kept it. But the stuff that is not for my betterment, that has not moved my needle forward, that has not made my life better, I cut it off. And I cut it off where there is no access, because the more they have access to you, the more they're going to do their fuckery. You understand? And it's like, they're going to do this. It's going to be like, oh, yesterday she was really nice to me. We had a good conversation. I think I got through to her. Tomorrow, the next day, it's like you never had a conversation. That's not your person. That's not the person you're supposed to be talking to. Stop talking to them. If you can go through a third party and let that third party deal with that person, let that third party deal with that person. But you have to make sure that that third party doesn't get poisoned by that person, because then they're going to use that person to get to you. Does that make sense? So it's like, there might be someone who you have a situation where you don't want to deal with the person, but you have someone dealing with that person for you. But then when that person deals with that person, they come back with bullshit to you. Oh, you know what they doing? This and this, da 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 da, and this is what they said. That's not the person that you need. You need a strict, like like Michael Corleone's lawyer type thing. No, he's not going to do that. No, she's not going to do that. Okay, here's your shit. Here's what you need. Here's what you're supposed to have. I'm out. I'm not going. They don't sit and entertain that person, because if you have a third party that sits and entertains that person and brings that shit back to you, that's not the person that should be doing it. Does that make sense? All right. I don't know. These downloads just coming flying at me today. So love you guys. Stay up. Stay blessed. Deuces. Be safe out there.